Hello and welcome to another CloudGin video tutorial. Today's lesson, in planning, markout scheduling, and batch step update. In our last video training, we started with the GIS dashboard and scheduling work or planning work from a map view. And then we took those and we made edits to these white dots to get them into a batch step updated view. So let's go ahead and get over to the batch step update dashboard. So we've opened up the batch steps update dashboard, and this is where the work would reside, where we'd want to start looking and start planning our work through the markout call out and mass updating work orders through this dashboard. So the first thing you want to do is create your own self a tab at the top. This one I've created for myself. It's called Planning Markouts in Pending. And then I also have Planning Markouts in Progress. So setting up tabs, there's training on the Midstate Hub to find out how to set up tabs and filtering needs. So go ahead and check out those videos. So for this particular batch step for markouts, there are a few pin filters that are benchmark that you would need to start and keep across the board. So the first one is your organization. If you work across multiple organizations, please make sure that you're working and you pin the organization that you're working with for that particular moment for scheduling. Right now, this is Tom's River, so I'm going to just have the organization of Tom's River pinned and filtered to that organization. The second pin filter is the status. We're still working in the in planning status of the life cycle of the work order. So you still want to stay with the status of that life cycle work order of in planning. So we're not working with submitted, we're not working with pending complete. We're still in planning as the status of the work order. So that is the second benchmark filter you would want to have and saved for your dashboard. The third one is the step type. Markouts. We're only concerned with markouts right now. So we only want to filter on markouts. We don't want to see anything else other than the markouts steps. So that's why we're going to just keep it here on the step markout. And last but not least, the fourth benchmark is the substatus of that markout. So we're only looking at pending. We only want to see the pendings right now. And we change those pendings inside the previous when we were doing it from the work orders dashboard of the map. We were updating and we were changing that to pending. So we want to make sure that we keep that in the pending. We don't want to see any of these other statuses in this dashboard. We just want to see markouts pending, and we'll just leave it at that. So right now we'll just save our view, make sure that we save those four. That's our benchmark. But now we have some variable tabs that you also need to have. And earlier we scheduled 2 jobs to truck 51 and 9 or 10 jobs or so to truck 52. But you can see down here we have 47 jobs listed on this page. So the next tab we would want to go and filter down to get closer to where we're at is to find that truck 51 and 52 work we scheduled. So or we assigned to. So that was truck 51. Here's truck 52 in Tom's River that we assigned that. That was the work it was assigned to. Go ahead and click on that. Now we brought that filter down. Now we're down to 18 jobs. Still not there yet. We've only have about a few jobs that we were going to be looking at the schedule. We also, in our last training off the map, we did a start date. Like we started the start date of the work order, not this, the overall work order, and we put November 10th as that start date. So now we want to filter down even more and say, just show me start date. Now we're seeing, and now we're going to save the view. Always when we change these views, now we're seeing what we've moved from the map to the dashboard. And this is where we are going to work on it. We have to get a few things from another website, which is the one call website, which we're going to need to know the due date. And we're going to need to know that markout number so that we can put that here. And then we're going to be changing the status as well to move it to the next step. So what we need to do is find out 47 Edinburgh. This is the next one we're going to go ahead and call out and do a markout. So we'll go ahead and go to our markout tab and we'll start filling out the markout. So as we start filling out the information needed, we know that we're going to be working on 47 Edinburgh, but it's asking for nearest intersecting street. We can find that out real quick in the work order. So if we go back to the batch steps and we go back into the 47 Edinburgh and we just click on that work order number right there. And we go to the map view to find where the asset lies and try to find the nearest intersection. And we can find that Edinburgh intersects with Edgebrook Drive South. So that's how we can fill that in. So then we can just start typing in here, Edgebrook Drive South. And there you go. So now that we filled out all the information needed for the one call, in particular what we need for now CloudGin and the work order is this information down here, the start date information. So the work to begin is going to be November 8th of 2025. That's when we can begin any digging. We cannot dig prior to that. So that's the begin date. If we don't dig on the 8th, we have up until the 19th to start by digging. So that is what this is, almost like a due date or an expiration date or a step date. So we have between the 8th and the 19th to start digging. If we start digging between those dates, then this markout ticket will extend to the 12th of January. Okay, knowing that we have to dig by the 19th, that is the step due date. So right here on Edinburgh, we want to take that and we want to say we have to dig by the 19th. We already know that. So now we don't have a number yet. We got to wait for that number, but we've already called it in. So now we want to remove it. We want to follow what we're calling in versus what we still have left. So we're going to move this to in progress now. And you can see we have 10 work orders here. So by moving to in progress with the step due date of the 19th, we go ahead and hit save at the top. We now take that out of our queue because we've already called the markout in and we're just waiting. And now you can see we're down to 9. That next step will come in the next, that now would move over here to that tab. And you can see that the Edinburgh is now moving over to this tab. We'll get to that tab in a further training with the markouts in progress. But for now, for this one, we just keep following those steps to call in those markouts and remove them from the in pending status. So I went ahead and called in all the markouts and submitted all the markouts. So now we're on our last one. So we're just going to come here. We're going to put this in progress. The due date is going to be the 19th. We're going to hit save. And that now clears my queue on this markouts in pending. We could see here that up here on my tab, I have markouts in pending. So all the work orders I planned and scheduled, all the markouts have now been all called in. So now what I want to do is move to our next tab that I've created in the batch step updates. I've created another tab, which here's now all our 12 work orders that we've now called in, and I'm waiting on those reference numbers. And I also need to change them and put them into a complete status to get them out of the batch steps process. So right now we're just sitting waiting, and if I look over and I come over here to uh, the videos, or I'm sorry, not the video, the email, and I'm waiting. So that these numbers are all called in, and I'm just waiting for those ticket numbers. So as those ticket numbers come in, we can go and start updating the process. Okay, now that the markouts are starting to come in, the tickets are coming in, we have a tab that says ready to schedule. Right now, that is blank. So we want to go back one tab. We want to go back to in progress. So the in progress tab, like I mentioned earlier, is where we're going to now fill in the markout numbers under reference number, and we're going to change the status from in progress to complete, which then would put the work orders from into this tab here, which be ready for schedule. So if you're following the process, we have it built. You should have it built in your system. Is you would have the planning markouts and pending here from the map. Once you call them in and they're in progress, they would come here to this tab as you would see here. Once you receive the markouts and you update them, then they'll go here for scheduling. So let's just go into the inbox where they're coming in and start getting those work order numbers and start seeing it. So I have a ticket number here. This looks like it's for the 123 San Carlos job. So there's the ticket number here for us. So I just go and I hit copy. I go over here. I find the 123 San Carlos. I go to the reference number. I'll hit paste here. Put that out here. Let's just get that out of there. And now I want to take this and move it to complete. So now I have 12 down at the bottom. When I hit save, now I'm down to 11. So what this is doing is as the tickets are coming in and I'm I'm verifying the ticket to the work order and they're coming off. By the end of it, this should be all empty. So that means all my markouts have cleared and we're ready to schedule, which is going in there. So I'm going to keep going on and keep filling in those work order numbers. Let's do another one. Let's just go back in, go back into in. Let's go, let's find another ticket right here. Ticket number is right here. This one is for 45 Corey Drive. So I'll just grab that number again. We'll go copy. Go back into the set, find 45 Corey. That reference number is here. We'll go paste, click down here, and then we want to move it into complete and then hit save. And now we went from 11, now we're down to 10. So we're going to just keep going until we get to our final one to clear the queue. Okay, we got our last reference number put in there, and we have our last status of step complete here. Once I hit save on this line, it should clear out the queue. Now the queue is cleared out. So now we have now verified that all our markouts that we first called in the pending status, they were cleared out. We come over here. This tab is cleared out. Now we come to the markouts in progress, and now this tab is cleared out. So now we are ready to take it from in planning and move it to a scheduled status. So that's how you update the step status and moving it from in planning to get it all taken care of. So that would be in the next training video, our next step. So I do hope you find this helpful, that the training is providing a process as well. It's showing you that you go from the map to the pending to the markouts in progress. So I hope you found this hopeful. Try find other videos in our mid-state hub for your training needs. Thank you.